From food addiction to self-love, her journey was anything but linear. She didn't eat because she was hungry. She ate to silence the voices, to fill the gaps, to punish herself, to disappear. Her addiction wasn't to food. It was to numbing. And when she finally sought help, through surgery, therapy, and painful honesty, she thought she was healing. But healing isn't a straight line. And self-love doesn't come with a before and after photo. This isn't a weight loss story. It's a story about learning to stay when every part of you wants to run. This is Ava's story. And maybe it's yours too. Hunger that wasn't about food. Eva had always felt like something was missing. Not in the dramatic, cinematic way people describe, but in a quiet, aching absence that followed her from childhood into adulthood. Her parents loved her, but their love came with conditions. Be good. Be quiet. Don't ask for too much. Don't feel too much. So Eva turned to food. Not out of greed, but out of survival. Cookie meant comfort. A second serving meant silence. Late-night binging in secret meant control. Her one safe ritual in a world that demanded her to shrink in every way, but physically. By her late 20s, the habit wasn't just emotional. It was compulsive. She ate standing up. She ate while driving. She'd black out in front of the TV and come to with empty wrappers around her like shameful confetti. And yet, no one seemed to notice. Or maybe they did, and just didn't want to say it. She tried to stop. She tried apps, diets, accountability partners. But food wasn't the problem. It was the symptom. The real hunger was for safety, for approval, for someone to say, "You're enough," even when you don't earn it. One night, after a particularly painful binge that left her physically ill and emotionally broken, Eva sat on her kitchen floor and whispered, "I can't do this anymore." It was the first honest thing she had said out loud in months. It was also the beginning of her fight to reclaim her life. The surgery was just a door. Making the decision to undergo bariatric surgery wasn't impulsive. It took Eva nearly 2 years, not because of fear, but because of shame. Would people think she was taking the easy way out? Would she be rejected for choosing herself in such a dramatic, visible way? But eventually, her survival overpowered her pride. She stepped into the clinic not as a woman chasing beauty, but as someone chasing peace. The surgery itself was a blur. Anesthesia, cold lights, the sting of recovery. But the moment Eva woke up, she felt something new. Not relief, not triumph, just silence. The hunger, physical and emotional, was gone, replaced by nausea and exhaustion. Her stomach, now drastically smaller, became her alarm system. One bite too many and she'd feel it. Tightness, pressure, sometimes pain. It was humbling. She had to relearn how to nourish her body, not punish it. But something unexpected happened. As she lost weight, the approval she once craved came pouring in. "You look incredible. You're glowing. Whatever you're doing, it's working." And Eva smiled. She said thank you. But inside, she felt a growing discomfort. No one asked how she was sleeping, or if she still cried at night, or if she felt worthy of this new body. They saw the shrinking waistline, not the bruises on her spirit. Because the surgery wasn't a finish line, it was a door. And on the other side was everything she hadn't healed yet. Relapsing in secret in the early months post-surgery, Eva was strict. Protein first, measured portions, sugar-free everything. But discipline is a fragile thing when it's built on fear. As the compliments increased, so did her anxiety. What if she failed? What if she gained it all back? What if the love was conditional, just like before? So she did what many don't talk about. She relapsed. It started small. A spoon of peanut butter at midnight. A few bites of something sweet just to taste. Then guilt. Then shame. Then eating more to numb the shame. The worst part? Her stomach wouldn't let her binge like before, so her emotional release was gone. She couldn't escape into food anymore. That's when the depression came. She began avoiding mirrors, ignoring texts, skipping therapy. People still told her she was doing amazing, but they didn't know she was fighting herself every day. She wasn't afraid of food anymore. She was afraid of who she was without it. Because now that the numbing tool was gone, all she had left were her raw emotions, and she had no idea how to sit with them. Shame-wearing lipstick Eva returned to work thinner, dressed sharply, polished. People noticed. Colleagues who once ignored her now invited her into conversations. One man even asked her out, something that hadn't happened in years. But none of it made her feel better. In fact, it made her furious, because the world was finally offering her the life she had always wanted, but only because she had changed how she looked. She started wearing makeup more often, not for confidence, but to hide. Lipstick became armor. Perfect outfits became camouflage, because inside, Eva felt like a fraud. One morning in the bathroom at work, she looked in the mirror and whispered, "If only they knew. If only they knew she still heard the binge voice late at night. If only they knew how hard it was to say no to sabotage. If only they knew she didn't feel beautiful." She felt bribed. Because deep down, Eva didn't want to be praised for losing weight. She wanted to be loved for surviving. Therapy doesn't fix you. It reveals you desperate not to slip back into her old self. Eva returned to therapy. But this time, she didn't focus on food. She focused on grief. Grief for the girl she had been. Grief for the years she lost. Grief for the version of herself that only knew comfort through consumption. Week by week, layer by layer, she unpacked her past. Not with shame, but with tenderness. She stopped calling herself lazy. She stopped saying, "I have no willpower." She started asking better questions. What do I really need right now? Whose voice am I trying to silence? What am I afraid will happen if I just feel? And slowly, she stopped fighting herself. Not perfectly, but gently. Because healing, she learned, isn't loud. It's not dramatic. It's quiet. It's choosing to pause when you want to punish. It's drinking water when you want sugar. It's reaching out when you want to disappear. Eva began to see herself not as a project to fix, but as a person to love. And that shift changed everything. When love enters the room, it was in a support group. One she almost didn't attend, that Eva met someone. His name was Daniel. He wasn't flashy or smooth, but he listened. The first time she told her story out loud, the real one, not the edited version, he didn't flinch. He didn't offer advice. He just said, "That must have been really heavy to carry." And for the first time, Eva didn't feel judged. She felt seen. They didn't fall in love instantly. It wasn't a movie. It was slow, earned, built on mutual respect. Daniel had his own scars, different but deep. And together, they created space to be flawed. With him, Eva didn't have to pretend. She could cry. She could relapse. She could grow. He didn't save her, but he reminded her she was worth saving. The first time she didn't apologize months later, at a dinner party, someone made a joke about people who cheat with surgery. All eyes turned to Eva. She smiled politely, but didn't shrink. "I didn't cheat," she said. "I survived." And survival looks different for everyone. Silence. Then someone else said, That's powerful. And for the first time, Eva didn't apologize for her journey. She owned it. And the power in that moment, that refusal to shrink, stayed with her. Not because she needed validation, but because she finally stopped waiting for permission to be proud. Finding her voice again, Eva started sharing her story, not on a big platform, not with hashtags, but in real conversations, with friends, with strangers in coffee shops, with women in waiting rooms. Each time, her voice grew steadier. Each time, the shame grew smaller. Because when you speak your truth enough times, it stops feeling like a confession. It starts feeling like freedom. Self-love isn't sexy. It's daily people like to romanticize healing. Bubble baths, mantras, photos of green juice. But for Eva, self-love looked like logging off when she wanted to compare, saying no without explaining, eating slowly, even when anxious, putting her phone away when emotions surged. Self-love wasn't glamorous. It was repetitive. It was quiet. It was earned. And that's why it mattered. Not a before or after, but a whole today. Eva still has hard days. She still hears the voice that says, "You're slipping." But now she knows how to answer. "I'm still here." And that's enough. She's not chasing a finish line. She's not afraid of food. She's not performing for praise. She's living, not as a before, not as an after, but as a woman who made herself whole, on her own terms. And that is redemption.